What's up, fight fans? Welcome back to another episode of our weekly MMA talk show called Chokes and Eye Pokes, where we talk all things combat sports and fight related. I'm your host, as always, Vern. I'm joined by my co-host, Jack. Jack, how's it going? We took a break last week, but we're back this week. How's everything that side?
Yeah, it's good. How's things your side? You're now a dad.
I am, yes. Good. We as much as things stay the same, obviously there's massive changes, but I try to keep everything as normal as possible. But good so far. No complaints, to be honest.
Nice. She's very cute.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. I know we're very fortunate. Sometimes you tell people their babies look beautiful, and you have to lie. But luckily for us, when we say it, we really believe it. So we're very fortunate.
Yeah.
I think while baby's still sleeping, I think it's a good idea to get through this card. It's of course UFC 298 this weekend, with the main event being Volkanovski versus Topuria. We'll get to that obviously in a second. We're going to be reviewing the main card as always. The first fight on the main card is Anthony Hernandez, ranked number 15, versus Roman Kopylov. Anthony Hernandez 11-2-0, Kopylov 12-2-0. This is at middleweight, by the way. As always, most of the time, no betting odds for this one.
Yeah.
Just to note, Anthony Hernandez on a 4-fight win streak. His last loss to Kevin Holland. Actually, they're both on a 4-fight win streak. Same thing with Roman. Roman taking this on 4 weeks' notice, though. This fight. What are you making for this fight, or what do you think for this fight?
I think it's going to be the sleeper fight of the card. Honestly, I'm pretty hyped for it. I think they're both on that. They're on a tear. 4 fights each. I think Roman, his last 4 have all been by TKO or KO. So very impressive. Hernandez, I think he's also very smart. He's got so many tools. He's been able to show a lot in his time. So I really don't know how to call it yet, if I'm honest. But really interesting fight. Looking forward to it. And you?
100%. Yeah, 100%. I think the biggest thing for me, though, with this fight, I think you're 100% correct in what you're saying. I think if it wasn't such a short notice fight, it would be much tougher to call for me. I think the fact that Roman he's taking on a 4 weeks notice, and I know everybody stays ready, so they don't have to get ready.
Yeah.
But when you're there is a difference between being in camp and being out of camp. And I think that's going to be the story of this fight. Can Roman, the longer the fight goes, can Roman keep that pace and not get tired and really keep up with Hernandez? I don't think so. I think he's going to get tired. 4 weeks. I don't know what Roman weighs outside of camp and stuff, but if you take these short notice fights, a lot of the times it's just a weight cut, depending on how much time you have.
Yeah.
And that could be the case, that could not be the case. But I think a large majority of the 4 weeks that he has, if he's not staying close to fighting shape, which a lot of fighters don't go way off, but they don't stay on fighting shape because your body does need a rest. If that's the case, which I think it is with him, I think he's going to get tired, and I think Hernandez probably ends up finishing him even in round 3. So I'm going to go Hernandez TKO round 3 for this one.
Okay, nice. It's very hard to not have the same decision as you, and I do agree with your points. But I do also think, well, just to add to your point more, not necessarily but Roman as well. He relies on that the pushing the pace so much, especially in his last couple of fights. What his energy levels would be like on 4 weeks' notice out of a very short camp. I actually hadn't thought about that, but I do think I'm going to go Roman, second round or first round, just because his only way to win is to push the pace really early and try clip him. And I think the smart choice is Hernandez for sure. I was kind of leaning more towards decision by Hernandez. But it's kind of a 50-50 for me. I'm just in the spirit of not agreeing. I'm going to go Roman TKO first round.
First round, okay. Get him in the blitz.
Yeah.
Then it's crazy that this is only the second fight on the card, second from bottom. We got Merab, Dvalishvili. Mess up his butcher's name.
Good.
Dvalishvili, 16-4, number 2 ranked versus Henry Cejudo, number 13 ranked. Number 3 ranked, excuse me.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said 13. Henry Cejudo, number 3 ranked. Henry is a 1+164 underdog, slight underdog, fairly slight underdog. Merab is a -198 favorite. Merab on a 9-fight win streak. Henry obviously coming off that loss to Aljamain Sterling after such a long layoff. What do you make of this fight?
I'm really excited for Merab to fight again. It's been a while. I'm actually such a huge fan, and him in and out of the cage is just really entertaining. I'm very excited for this one. Henry, I could kind of take it or leave it, if I'm honest. And you?
Yeah, especially now after you fight his coach live, dude.
Yeah, kind of weird.
That was a little bit weird, but I saw they might be back together. So I don't know. For me, I look at that Aljamain Sterling loss, and it was a close loss for Henry Cejudo. Even though I think Aljamain Sterling did win that. The biggest thing is always just the ring rust. I mean, if you'd set this fight up when Henry Cejudo, before he'd retired, I'd go Henry Cejudo all day, not even doubt it, no matter how good Merab is doing. But the thing is, he has had a long layoff, and okay, it's a little bit longer now to prep, but I think just being out the game so long, it's always going to obviously come down to, and Henry prepares really well for this. So this is even though he prepares very well, this is still an issue. Can he also just not get tired? Because the main thing is going to be, can he stuff the takedowns of Merab? Henry's also really been fighting, at 125 a lot of his career, most of his career. So he should be smaller. Hasn't stopped him in the past, but I don't know. He's likely to tire for me, and I question why Henry Cejudo came back. Maybe he saw weaknesses in the division, but I really question why he would want to come back. I mean, you retired as one of the best ever, one of 4 double champs. And now you want to come back and test yourself, fair enough. But I think the MMA game might have passed him by. And I think Merab at this point is just too good and too sharp and just been in it long enough for me that I think Merab probably wins by decision.
Yeah.
Because it is tough to put Henry away. But if Henry Cejudo does get his old form back, then it's Henry Cejudo all day for me. But I don't think he's going to get it back.
Yeah. I also see Merab winning. I can't actually think of... I mean, with Henry, his major tool is wrestling, but I can't see Merab getting taken down and staying down, honestly. So I really don't see a path of victory to Henry other than maybe by a decision if they dance around each other for a long time. But I think that there's enough animosity there that Merab is going to try at least push the pace. I'm also going Merab. I think he can get it done. I'm not going to say submission, but I'm going to say TKO 4th round. No, sorry, 3rd.
It's a 3-round fight.
Yes, sorry.
It should be a co-main event or a main event in any other event, but yeah, no.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying TKO round 3?
Round 3, yeah.
Okay. All right. Then we've got welterweight. We've got Geoff Neal ranked number 8, 15-5, 2-3 in his last 5, even though they have been all tough losses, versus Mr. Alpha Male himself, Garry, ranked number 10, 13-0, undefeated. Garry is a -245 favorite, and Geoff Neal a +200 underdog. For me, okay, I'll just kick this one off. I think Geoff Neal, obviously, hands of steel. He's got a lot of power. And I think it's going to come down to whether Garry can actually just not get hit, because obviously if he gets hit, it's going to test his chin. I think he can get put up.
Yeah.
And I think Garry needs to keep it a technical battle. He's much more technical, much more proficient on his feet than Geoff Neal. And I think he can do that and keep his distance, maybe get takedowns when he needs them, and control the fight where he needs it to be. And also keep the fight at distance, like he did against Neil Magny.
Yeah.
And I think he can do that. I think he gets it done. I think his hype train is... So Garry's hype train is going to get derailed, but it's not going to be against Geoff Neal. And I'm going to go with Garry to win by decision, because I think he's just going to make it a technical battle, and he's going to avoid big shots and just stay at distance.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think Ian's going to use a lot of his legs, like we saw against Magny as well. Yeah, completely agree with what you're saying.
And what's your method?
I'm going to say decision. I don't think he's going to want to close the distance. I think he's going to try to keep it a technical battle and win on points.
Yeah, I don't think he needs to take that much of a risk, but maybe he wants to go for a finish and really try to push for a title shot, which I don't think he'll get either anyway, but you never know.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. So we're both going Ian Garry there. Next we've got, and I'm really surprised it's made it this far without Paulo Costa pulling out.
Yeah.
Robert Whittaker, 24-7, ranked number 3, minus 205 favorite. Against Paulo Costa, as we said, 14-2, number 6 ranked, plus 170 underdog. This is Paulo Costa's first. So obviously, Robert Whittaker coming off the loss to Dricus. Quite, in his eyes, a bit of a surprising loss, I guess. And Paulo Costa, this is his first fight since August 2022 because of the Khamzat fight he had to pull out because of that staph infection.
Yeah.
What are you saying? What do you think is going to happen for this one?
Stylistically, I can't see a way that Rob doesn't win, if I'm honest. I think that he'll be able to handle Costa's pace really well, and especially like looking at the Yoel Romero fights, particularly the second one. I rewatched the second one. If we see that Rob, then I really can't see a way that he loses. To me, it's kind of how he responds to the Dricus loss. And I do think it's going to be positive, but there is some doubt in my mind. But at the same time, Paulo, like when last did he fight? I think, there's maybe some ring rust.
August 2022.
Yeah, some ring rust, maybe his side.
Yeah, it's a little bit disappointing because I wanted to see Paulo Costa take on Khamzat because I think it would have answered a lot of questions about Khamzat.
Yeah.
I think it would have exposed a lot in Khamzat. But be that as it may, I do agree with you. I don't see a way for Robert Whittaker to really lose this fight. And it is a big question when you come off a knockout loss like that, and it's not super devastating, but it is devastating nonetheless. I think Rob can come back from that. He has done it in the past. He came back from the Izzy knockout, and then went on an absolute tear afterwards. I do think he will be able to come back from that. That's the story of this fight and the next fight. Really, is how does he and how does Volk come back from their knockouts. In this instance, I definitely think that it's not devastating enough for him not to come back. I also think, like you say, Costa having the ring rust. So yeah, I don't know what Costa's motivation is. Not fighting all that time, pulling out. I don't even know why that. I mean, there's speculation that the UFC just signed him to that new deal way back, just because they didn't want him to sign with anybody else.
Yeah.
So they gave him quite a lucrative deal. But be that as it may, this fight is happening as it stands. There's still time to pull out, but hopefully he doesn't pull out because that would just be a mess up. And I think Robert Whittaker wins this fight by decision. And I think he calls out. I mean, he's coming to finish Costa, so that is likely. But whether it's a finish or a decision, which I think it is, I think he calls out Dricus for a rematch, especially with Dricus being champion now. I think he tries to take that from Izzy or whoever might be next. And I think that's going to be his play. That's the smart move to make. He did say he'd beat Dricus 9 times out of 10. Maybe not. But I think that would be the smart play for him then to then call out Dricus for an immediate rematch, essentially.
Yeah, I think he definitely had the resume to support that. Let's see. I do think he'll win. Absolutely. I think, what's your method of victory?
No, decision.
Decision, okay. I think I'm leaning...
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is a knockout or a TKO, like in round 3 or something like that.
Yeah. It's 5 rounds for 3.
Yeah, it's 5, I think, because it's a co-main event.
Okay. To be honest, I think that Rob can put him out within 5. I'm going to say 3rd or 4th round TKO. I'm going to lead more towards the 5th round.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. I do think also, like, if Rob does call out Dricus, I think for me it's a more competitive fight than Izzy. Unless Izzy is like that super motivated Izzy. But that's something we can cover at a later stage. But I think they'll make more money off Izzy, and I think that's the route they'll go, especially at a UFC Africa or something like that. Okay. Then we get to the main event. We got Alexander Volkanovski, 26-3 is a minus. Actually, he's not even a favorite. This is pretty dead even odds. It's minus 112 to minus 108. We've got then versus Ilia Topuria, 14-0, obviously undefeated. Volk coming off that, I deem it to be a very devastating loss to Islam Makhachev, the head kick and punches, jumping straight back into it. I don't know if that's smart. But yeah, what do you think? What do you make for this fight?
I really want to see Volk kind of come away from that Islam loss with no differences and still be able to maintain, his championship. I do think he's one of the greatest of all time at featherweight. And it would be great to see his stats reflect that. But I remember we spoke about this with Tony Ferguson as well. It's like there's things that your body remember about a devastating KO like that. That like mentally you might be there, but it's still a limiting factor. So I'm not sure. I'm gonna go with Volk, probably, but it's really dangerous. I think that in terms of danger to his title reign, this is probably the biggest test he faces. Yeah, and what do you think?
Man, it's impossible to go against Volk at featherweight, but I think I'm gonna do it. The thing is, Volkanovski's whole career, people have doubted him, and this is another reason to doubt him because he's just come off a devastating KO loss. Those are the types of KOs that change you, in my opinion. Then you couple that with this rising challenger who's just been on an unstoppable force. I mean, even when he beat Josh Emmett by decision, he got a 10-7 round. I mean, when's the last time you saw a 10-7 round? He's just been, I mean, he's the guy that stopped that stupid Amanari roll from Ryan Hall and just TK'd him, knocked him out stiff. He's well rounded. He's got no weaknesses. He's ultra confident. I mean, up until this week, he's got a little bit cringe with what he's saying, but hey, he's super confident. He's on top of the world. It's just made for him to win, I feel. But the smart money is still for Volk. I mean, he hasn't ever lost at featherweight. He is the greatest probably at featherweight ever. I mean, to be honest, he is. There is no one else. Him, Max Holloway, Conor McGregor, Jose Aldo, those are the candidates. And for me, he's surpassed them. But he's never come off a loss like this. That's the thing. Against a much bigger opponent, it's devastating. It can do something to you. So that's the big question of this fight. Is that devastating loss? Is that enough of a devastating loss that has changed him? If it's the Volk of old, then he should win this. But there's just too much in Topuria's favor that says to me that Topuria is going to win this, and I think he does win this. I'm unsure of the method though, because I can't see. I don't know if I can see him finishing Volk. I can see him finishing Volk actually because Volk's meter would have gone less now because of that loss. But I don't know. How you got Volk winning?
Decision. Split probably, if I'm honest. I think it's going to be super close.
Look, I think if Volk wins by decision, I think he wins quite handily because I think he's able to neutralize Topuria. Topuria is going to come forward. He's going to try hit him with shots. I don't think he's going to want to take it to the ground because even Islam struggled to keep Volk on the ground. I think it would be a stupid decision by Topuria trying to take him down, let alone trying to keep him down. So I think it's going to be a stand-up battle. The reach goes to, and then Volk. If Volk can neutralize that, then he'll just be able to pick him apart, I feel. But I think Topuria's got the reach advantage. Topuria's got the speed advantage. He's probably got more dynamic striking. So I'm going to go TKO. But I wouldn't be sad if Volk wins. I'm a huge Volk fan, but I think I'm a bigger Topuria fan, and I do believe that the stars are going to align for Topuria. If they don't, people are calling this a hype train. I don't think it's a hype train, but I think Topuria wins this one, and I'm going to go around for TKO. If not, then a decision.
I hope you're wrong, but I think those are very valid points.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a bold choice to pick Volk to lose, but I think he's jumped in too quickly.
Yeah.
And that's too devastating a KO. However, hey bro, his whole career, people have doubted him. No one thought he'd beat Max Holloway. No one thought he'd beat him twice. And no one thought he'd beat him 3 times.
Yeah.
So he did all of that. No one thought he'd do as well against Islam in that first fight either. So
yeah.
Yeah. So you going Volk, eh?
Yeah. I do think it's going to be super close though. But yeah, I think
split decision.
Yeah, split decision.
Okay. So the only difference we got is, actually we've got 2 differences. We got the Roman and Anthony Hernandez fight. Then we've got the Volk and Topuria fight. So there's going to be a winner. We need to do some sort of a virtual win type thing now because the belts are on 2 different provinces.
Yeah, we can
So
courier
we
it.
would have to figure that out. Maybe let us know in the comments.
Yeah. Every weekend.
What do you say, money?
No, we can just courier it each time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, by the time it gets to you, it's going to have to come back. If it, it's going to be like the next week's thing. So yeah, maybe we should keep one belt with you and one belt with me, and then we just have it
Yeah.
on the show. Well, I think that just about wraps up our show. Jack, thanks again for joining me and co-hosting. Everybody in the comments, let us know who you think is going to win this weekend. What are your thoughts on UFC 298? Do you think Volk is finally going to lose, or do you think his time as the featherweight king is not up yet? Let us know in the comments. As always, like the video, share it far and wide, and we'll see you next week. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, guys.